Considering competition and other assumptions. The pharmaceutical industry can be considered an oligopoly, in other words, a market formed by a relatively small number of big competitors. This may be attributed to the staggering costs of developing and marketing new drugs and because of patents that protect new products from competitors. It can cost more than $1 billion to develop a new drug, get it approved by the Food and Drug Administration and bring it to market, according to Forbes magazine. With those kind of upfront costs, only a handful of companies can afford to create and sell new products. The government grants those companies extended patents on their drugs, and these patents protect drug developers from competitors for many years. Therefore, it is very important to consider competition as a key variable in determining cash flows for this project. We have seen many ways in which pharmaceutical companies deal with the presence of competitors. We propose a methodology that deals with it by splitting competition into three major components: number of competitors, competitive erosion, and likelihood of competition. This methodology fits our probabilistic approach well. In this example, we assume that as much as 3 additional competitors may eventually enter this market. The probability that any given competitor may enter the market has been deemed at 30%. It is also estimated that any additional competitor will erode market penetration on approximately 20% of the total demand, with a minimum of 10% and a maximum of 40%. Let us insert these assumptions in such a way that our market penetration will be affected by the probable presence of competitors in the marketplace. At this stage, we will just add probability distributions to each one of these 3 components. Later on, when building the cash flow, we will respectively add the competition effect upon the whole model. 10. On cell E4, click on At Risks Define Distributions button. The following window appears. 11. Double-click on PERT and the following dialog appears. 12. By clicking on the Assign Excel References as Arguments button, return to make a reference in Excel by clicking respectively on cells C4, B4, and D4 for minimum, most likely, and maximum estimates. The shape of the PERT curve for competitive erosion will look like this. 13. Click OK to exit. The function on cell E2 looks like this, equals risk PERT, C4, B4, D4. 14. On cell B5, define the maximum number of competitors at 3. This cell has been previously named as max comp. 15. On cell B6, write 30% is the initial probability of entry of any given competitor. This model assumes a fixed sales price. Admittedly, the model could be enhanced by adding price elasticity to the demand, but at this point, this sophistication goes beyond the objectives of this training module. 16. On cell B7 write $90 for the unit price. The company will receive a 5% royalty rate of revenues for unit sales under 300,000, and a 10% royalty rate for unit sales over 300,000. 17. On cell B8, write 300,000. This cell has previously been named royalty threshold. 18. On cell B9, write 5%. This cell has previously been named Tier 1 royalty. 19. On cell B10, write 10%. This cell has previously been named Tier 2 royalty. R&D expenses for the first 6 years, including upfront money before the starting year, follow the next investment schedule. However, there is a 15% variation on these expenses, according to the history of similar projects. 20. On cell B11, write 15%. This cell has previously been named RDEXP-VAR. 21. On cell M2 write the following formula, equals risk normal, L2 times RDEXP-VAR. This formula uses a normal distribution with its 2 respective parameters. The first one is the mean at L2. The second parameter is the standard deviation, calculated by adding 15% variation, according to RDEXP-VAR times the mean value at L2. 22. Copy cell M2 and paste it down to the range M2:M7. 23. Finally, on cell B12, write 10% as the discount rate that will be used to quantify cash flows at present value.